my name is Alfred Tay. It's very nice to meet you. Thank you for this opportunity, sir.
Yeah, I know who you are. Your cousin was just here.
Sorry, so you know about that.
Yeah. Well, congratulations on winning the random contest that we had here recently, and it was truly random. A computer picked you out. It wasn't because of your questions. It wasn't because of anything else. It wasn't because of your ethnicity or the fact that you know what part of the world you're in. We have 30 minutes. I'm here at your disposal. How can I help you?
Okay. First of all, I just want to say thank you very much for the opportunity. I'm very excited to be here, and I'm very excited. And I just want to start off by talking about the things that I've learned from you, about all the materials that you have put online, and I've learned so much. It's truly changed my life. So thank you very much, sir.
Good.
I am saving up. I'm in the process of saving up to come to the castle as fast as humanly possible. And in the meantime, initially what I was thinking of, all right. So I got some other questions such as what's your toughest learning experience in recent years and what you did to overcome it?
Well, for the last 20 years, getting the kids like yourself and your cousin who just left the seminar the last couple of days over the goal line, I grossly underestimated the difficulty for you kids to grasp your emotional bank accounts. I measured and the formula was based on myself, and I just naturally assumed wrongly, I might add, that doing many of the things that are required to get the ball in the net, to get the ball down the pitch, etc., you kids could do more readily, more easily, and I was wrong. And so that has been my challenge the last 23 years, and nothing's changed. Part and parcel of that challenge has been you kids believe everything you read in the fucking newspapers, everything you hear on a podcast, everything you read in a blog, and I won't say none of it's true, but a good portion of it's true. The biggest myth in the world that there's no money out there. That's just flat wrong. That's not true at all.
Yeah.
And all you have to do is read one or listen to one podcast or read one blog that's contrary to your own beliefs, and your belief system cracks. And if you read 2 or 3 of those opinions, your belief system can very well collapse. And it's not true.
Yes, sir. And ever since I started listening to you, I mean, it's just like you said, you're the last person we go to. We don't listen. I've stopped reading. I don't read the news at all. I only indoctrinate everything. I'm starting to understand what you mean by the emotional bank account. Earlier last week, I wrote a letter to a local billionaire asking him to be my mentor. I called his office. I got through to the gatekeeper, and I was rejected. But it was a good learning experience for me, even though I was rejected. Like, I feel myself moving. I'm starting to understand what you truly mean by the emotional bank account. Back then, 5 years ago, I worked in the financial services industry as a financial planner. I used to look at the phone and dread picking up the phone because of emotional bank account. And you know, when you said the hardest thing, like, you know, all that theoretical stuff, the QLA system, theoretically it's not hard. Finding dream team, raising money, but like you said, it's all about the emotional bank account. It's all about picking up the phone, being enthusiastic, and I'm really starting to learn it, even though not as quickly as I would like to, but I'm getting there.
Well, yeah, I mean it's I mean it's not just you. I mean it's virtually everybody. And our self-esteem is built the first 7 or 8 years of life. And as I've said many times, our self-esteem is based on our parents, mostly our mothers in most cases, because that's who raises us for the most part. And then once we get past that 7 or 8 years, you show me your friends and I'll show you your future. And and most of the individuals, whether they're your age or a lot older, their friends are not role models for high performance.
Yes, sir. I agree as well. Like I'm starting to see the patterns, even with say people from high school, friends. They just like you said, not many of them have that vision or the tenacity to see their vision through. And that's something that I'm starting to learn and having to, like you said, find a new peer group and surround yourself with high performance people.
Correct, and it doesn't happen overnight. But I mean, you can't change overnight, but you can change your direction overnight. You can't change yourself as a person. But over time and after building up new associations, new fact patterns, new habits, and then at the end of some period of time, hopefully sooner than later, you'll be a different person.
Yes, sir. And also on your suggestion, I recently finished reading Jim Newman's Release Your Brakes. It's one of the best books I've read in my life, and even a simple puzzle in one of in the book, there was a simple puzzle where you have to connect 9 dots using 4 lines, and the most important lesson that I learned from that little simple exercise was that we are the one that create our own limitation. We are the one that set our own rules, where you have to look outside the box. Nobody ever said, nobody set the rules, like you said. There are
Correct.
no rules when it comes to QLA. So
and those 9 dots, you have to go outside the square, to connect them.
That's it.
And
When I saw them,
and that exercise has been around 60, 70 or more years. And when Jim Newman showed me that the first time in, I believe, 1974, man, I was already successful. I was quite surprised how people overlook. I mean, it's like the simple words, impossible also spells I'm possible. But you have to separate the I am from the rest of the letters. I mean, and so
I like the one.
Go ahead.
No. I still remember the example when you said assume. How you separate the letter for assume.
Yeah, it makes an ass out of you and me. But I mean, you will remember 99.999% of all the people that have benefited from QLA, I've never met, I've never talked to, I've never Skyped, Facebooked, any of those things. They've all benefited from my material that is free on my website. The only 0.001% have I actually laid hands on, so to speak, like your cousin last week. And so, I mean, much of that $50 billion that has been generated through my mentees and devotees, I didn't meet the kids. But the kids that created the big numbers are kids that I met with. I mean, I can't remember doing a webinar. I'm not sure I ever did a webinar like this with anybody else. Maybe I have, but I don't remember it. So, but for the most part, it's all content, and all the stuff that you need going forward is on the website. I mean, and it's all there. Although there's thousands of pages, but just keep going through it.
A situation of, can you give me an example of of your mentee whose deal is falling apart and what him and his dream team did to resurrect the deal?
Not really. I mean,
Yeah.
the chairman decides that you don't know anything, and he leaves.
Yeah.
There's nothing to resurrect. The industry expert decides he doesn't like Chinese, and he leaves. The CFO decides he gets a better opportunity, he leaves. The directors are not paid during the time frame from the beginning to the end of the first transaction, they leave. Your accountants and lawyers get booked up in your particular industry, and they can't afford any more delayed fee billing. They leave. The banks have a big transaction blow up in their face in the same area, in the same city, in the same next door.
Same industry.
They leave. And the only way you resurrect those is you start over again from the very beginning.
Yes, sir. Yeah. And like you said, just having to have a big enough emotional bank account, keep moving forward, keep thinking, there's always another deal, and just keep moving forward.
Correct. There's always another deal. There's always another director. There's always another accounting firm. There's always another law firm. There's always another industry.
Yeah, I understand, sir. So there's always another deal. Keep your eyes forward. Keep marching.
Correct.
Yes, sir.
Correct.
And how do I move towards your end of the leadership continuum? I'm enthusiastic. I'm energetic. I fire up easily. How do I use it most effectively in business situation as an employee?
Well, how do you use the leadership continuum? Is that the question?
No, as in how do I move towards your end of the leadership continuum?
How old are you?
31.
That's never going to happen. Your personality is already set. 98% of the leaders in the world are not me. They're like you and your cousin who just left here. I'm not here to change your personality, your persona. As soon as you try to start being something you're not, you look phony and hypocritical, and you won't be as effective. 98% of the people, and it'll be interesting for you to talk to your cousin who just left here. The personalities of the kids, and I call everybody kids because I'm either old enough to be your grandfather or father, but are not at my end of the leadership continuum. I mean, there's only a few of us, and because it's more and more and more less politically correct to be like I am. I mean, it's more and more difficult for somebody 30 years old or 35 years old or even 45 years old to start acting like General Patton, start acting like Saddam Hussein, start acting like Dan Pena. So that's not what we're looking at. What we're looking at, the difference between my end of the leadership continuum and the other end of the leadership continuum is one thing, not one thing, but one major thing. And that one major thing is I hold people accountable, no matter what. When I tell you that I'm going to do something, I do it. And your generation don't do that, not even remotely close. If something else comes up, you can have a hangover from the night before. Your mother is sick, so you got to go spend time with her, or all kinds of reasons. And in my generation, or I can't speak for my entire generation, but I can only speak for myself. When I say I'm going to do something, I absolutely do it. And not really knowing you other than all the material you sent me. Show me your friends and I'll show you your future. All your friends are cunts. All the people you hang around with are cunts. All your relatives are cunts. And that's just the way it is. And the most successful kids, and your cousin heard webinars from some of them. for example, one of the kids is moving from Boston to Washington, D.C., so he can be away from everyone. Now, that's a big, big commitment. I moved from Los Angeles or the United States to the UK 35 years ago. That's a huge commitment. And I have Chinese mentees, Japanese mentees, Korean mentees, Thai mentees, and every spectrum of the Asian bit of humanity. And I know how important the family is, et cetera, et cetera. And that's a big commitment, and not everybody is willing to make it.
Yeah.
For example, in the Asian community, most of the Asian community, you're looked to as the retirement plan for your parents. Yeah, and so and that that's a recipe for failure. And I'm not telling you to go against thousands of years of cultural heritage, but I am telling you that makes it fucking harder. It makes it a lot harder.
Well, the good thing is I'm living alone over here in Australia. The rest of my family are back in Malaysia. So I did come over here at a young age, but I'm still very close to my family. And that, like you said, it's being you gotta put yourself in a different social and economic milieu in order to be
correct.
To be in a different to be more.
Yeah. To be more. To be all that you can be, you have to put yourself in, as you just said, and as I've said on many, many podcasts, in a different social and economic milieu. It's not easy, but it's easier.
Yeah.
And now, do you live near your cousin?
Yes, not far.
Okay. Well, he has been inundated with materials.
Yeah.
And whether he wants to share them with you or not, I'm not putting words in his mouth. But when he said, he says, he asked me, I forget how he asked me, do you know the guy that you're going to be talking to, the winner of the contest? I go, no, I don't know. He says, he's my cousin. And I go, no fucking way. Yeah. And then he asked me, was it really random? And I said, yeah, it was really random. He was just picked by a computer program or something. And he said, no fucking way. But he did say, he did compliment you. He said that you were living QLA and you were learning as much as you could. And he said he's pretty squared away, but he says, who would have thought that my own cousin would win this thing while I'm attending the seminar?
Well, it was picked on my birthday.
Oh yeah. I think he told me that. Yeah. I think he told me that. Yeah. And and that's great. Yeah, but I mean, not many people entered that contest that you did, and it's just like Smell the Leather contest that we had last year. Now, ostensibly, 1 million people saw that contest because of the exposure of London Real and Brian Rose. And only 8 people, less than 10 people entered the contest. And because they already thought that, well, what are the odds of me winning it? I mean, when they're only going to give out a couple of prizes, etc. But I mean, and your material that you entered was pretty good. Thank you, sir. But if I chose it on merit meaning what you submitted, somebody else would have won. But as it was, serendipity picked you. And
there's no such thing as coincidence, right?
Yeah. And even though your cousin was happy for you, I think he was slightly pissed off. But he was happy for you, but he was slightly pissed off because you won. But I mean, he's a perfect guy for you to talk to. He's a perfect guy for you to exchange ideas because and he was a pretty good participant during the seminar. He asked some good questions. He was probably in the top 10% of the people that were prepared to come to the seminar. So now he's a perfect person. Well, nothing's perfect, but he's a good person for you to bounce ideas off of, because he's going to need somebody. He will require somebody to share his QLA process with, and so you're a natural, so to speak.
So, well, we only got a couple of minutes left. I just want to say, like, cash flow to attend the December or sign up for the December seminar. If you're willing to let me defer payment to next year.
Well, we have a payment plan. We have limited active duty military can come. We have limited veterans that can come, and the veterans payment plan is similar to the students. And then, which we have a student plan, and then we have a PPP, which stands for Pena Payment Plan. You have to apply because we get a lot of requests. And then the requests that my team, I get the final say so, but the team really picks them. But all I can tell you is apply and make mention that your cousin just attended. Also mention the fact that you won this contest, and I look forward to seeing you. But good luck. And you did have good questions, and you had good material, and to your quantum leap in life and business.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for everything, sir.
Okay.
I look forward to seeing you.
Okay, bye-bye now.
Thank you, sir.